Hi guys, welcome to Elena Jenkins DIY channel. My name is Elena and today I have three cute Dollar Tree Farmhouse Valentine's craft for you. So let's jump right into the crafting. So for this project, I will be using this Dollar Tree frame that says pantry. I will not be messing with the inside of the frame. I actually like the sign and I like how rustic it looks on edges, so I would like to leave it alone. So it will be peeking through from under my sign that I'm planning to make. But I will use the Beverly, it's not white, it's a plaster chalk paint, and I will go around the edges of the frame. I'm not going to be doing a full coat, just a little bit. Then after I left that alone to dry, I use Dollar Tree banner. This is in the Valentine's area, and I like to use just the top, but I don't want it to be that colorful, so I want it to be in a kind of farmhouse buffalo plaid check style. So I removed the heart and I traced it on top of my buffalo check material that I got it from Walmart in the sample area. It's like 98 cents you pay for this big piece of material. So then with my scissors, I cut the heart out and I will use my hot glue to glue it back to the heart. Then again, with my scissors, I will kind of go around the edges of the heart to remove excess of the redness that is peeking through. So that is what I'm gonna do to the heart to kind of make it the way I want it to be, like the old lookish. So then I measured my sign to the bottom where I wanted kind of to peek through. So I removed the red edges with my scissors and I trimmed the sign a little bit. I also removed the buttons, as you can see, but I will be saving the buttons because I will be putting them back. So I used the hot glue to glue the sign to my bottom sign, and again I trim it a little bit so it will be nice, and that redness would be not there. Then I place my buttons back and I attach my cute little heart right to the middle. So for that, I also thought that was missing something, so I had this metal kind of looking little heart, and it was attached to one of a kind of mason jar from a Dollar Tree. It isn't from the Valentine's theme as well. So I used that little heart and attach it to the top. So then I assemble my frame back all together. I did not use the glass because I didn't really want it. So I saved it for some other projects, but this is what I did. And when I turned around and looked at it, it looked gorgeous. I like how it looks. Also, I wanted to add a very small little bow to the top of the frame. So I got my ribbon that it is from Walmart, and it's going to be a very simple, like a shoelace bow. You folded it twice. I made a little cute little tail, secured on the middle with a jute, just fluffed it up, and voila, your bow is done. So when I placed it to the middle of my frame, it was kind of like it needed a button right in the middle, but I did not have cute enough button to add to it, so I decided to pull a little bit of the flower, like a small teeny tiny flowers that I have in my summer bundles that I had from Dollar Tree. So after I added this cute little white flower with kind of little I think some kind of purple thing peeking through, it made the world of difference. So for this project, I'll be using a Dollar Tree puzzle. And as you can see, it had 100 pieces. One box would be enough for this project. So right now I am using my Beverly chalk paint in a color white. And I painted it every puzzle, every little piece of puzzle. So I did not use even half of it. Well, maybe half it will be enough for this project, but one box will be plenty for you. So after my puzzles were drying, I have this sign from the Dollar Tree that it had like a Wi-Fi password, and I removed the top piece of little board that was attached. I sent it in, and then I used again my Beverly White chalk paint to paint it over. I give it a few coats because I didn't want any of the sign peeking through. So while the heart and the puzzle pieces are drying, I'm using this Dollar Tree frame. I took it apart and I'm not going to paint the frame, but I will be painting the back of the frame, by which I used the Beverly chalk paint in a color elephant. And I only give it a one coat because I kind of like all that black that is on the back was originally on the cardboard is peeking through. I thought it'd give it some really cool effect, you know. So one coat was enough and I was happy with it. So I put that aside and my heart was ready. So I was picking randomly pieces from my puzzles and I was going all the way around the heart, just randomly placing them and using a hot glue to secure everything. When I finished the first round, I thought it wasn't enough puzzle pieces, so I just went one more time again in around the heart, but I was placing the pieces not in any kind of order, just on top of the bottom layer. So I'm kind of making them looks like it's a big pile. So then after that, I pulled this little heart from one of the Dollar Tree Valentine sign. It already had a burlap on it, which was perfect. And this tiny little buffalo check heart was on one of the mason jar sign from the Dollar Tree as well. It is a all in a Valentine's area. So I removed it and thought, you know what, it will fit perfectly on this heart picture that I'm trying to make. So after that was done, I got this banner from the Dollar Tree. I got several of those, as you could tell. I like the wording, which it says "Love You More." I removed carefully all the wordings and from this banner. I saved the hearts because I will be using them for different projects, which you will see in upcoming videos. But what I did here, I trimmed my words and I kind of measured them and placed them how I envisioned them on the sign. And they were a little bit not the same, so I try to trim it as much as possible, and I think it turned out pretty good. So I placed them on my painted sign, and I like how it looked. So now I'm gonna use the hot glue and glue everything in place. For this project, we'll be using this Dollar Tree Christmas sign, and I liked actually the sign, so I decided not to mess with it in the front, so I turned it around, and I used Beverly chalk paint and a color plaster in the back to paint my sign. I give it only a one coat. While that was drying, I took my Valentine's wooden heart. They have plenty of those at the Valentine's area right now at the Dollar Tree, and I painted it again using the Beverly chalk paint in a color white. And I give it a two coats because I want it to be a really, really white before I proceed to the next step. So while my heart was drying, the sign already dried. So I pulled my Beverly chalk paint in a color mineral and I used it on top of my plaster chalk paint that's already dried because I wanted to have this kind of dirty, rustic looking sign background for my sign. So while that was drying, I used again the same chalk paint, which is the mineral from Beverly. And what I did, I put water and I was dipping my brush in the water, in the paint, and kind of going around the heart. So in between, I was using a paper towel and kind of wiping the water and the paint all together because I wanted to have this kind of like a little dirty effect and it did the job. I'm really happy with the color the heart turned out. Okay, so the next thing I went around the edge of the heart with a ribbon that looks like little balls on it. I really liked it. I purchased it at the Walmart, but it's really not a lot in that spool. It was barely enough to cover the heart. I have just a teeny tiny excess left. So be careful if your heart is larger and you wanted to use this kind of ribbon, you might need to buy two of them. So I went with my hot glue all over the edges of the heart and I attached the ribbon. Careful, hot glue is hot. So when it was done, I didn't want the ribbon to move like the little balls are wiggling. So I went under each little ball and I dab a teeny tiny piece of hot glue and I placed them in place so they would not move when I attached the whole heart to my sign. Now I decided to add a ribbon to my sign. So I took a Dollar Tree ribbon and I measured it and made a little cute dovetail on that. And I kind of had to adjust it because I couldn't figure out the size. So I did that at the top and I did the same thing to the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to use a Dollar Tree glitter foam letters. And at the beginning, I kind of wanted them a different color, but when I opened the package, it was actually such a nice and this pink and glitter that I decided to leave it alone because when I placed it on my ribbon, it just did it. I was like, okay, I love it. I'm going to leave it alone. So as you can see at the top, I'm spelling the word love and I wanted to place the word and inside the heart kind of going diagonal. That it will give this kind of different effect and not just, all in a straight line. And at the bottom of my sign, I spelled the word family. And I thought it was just a great dimension of everything playing together. And now, since all the letters are done and the words are spelled exactly how I wanted, it is time to glue the heart. I used my Sherbanta hot glue on the back of this wooden sign, and I pressed it a little bit on it to give it a little, push for the glue to work. And as you can tell, it all stays in place. Now I'm making a small little hanger, which is you get a piece of jute, make a cute little knot and apply lots of hot glue. And here we go. It is all finished.